Hey everyone, it's Sammy from Push Square, and I wanted to make a video today, another one about E3 2018, and I wanted to talk specifically about exclusives that Sony could announce during its press conference that we've never seen before. Now, to clarify, I think Sony finds itself in a little bit of an awkward spot, in that the PlayStation 4 is absolutely on fire, and there are a bunch of exclusives on the horizon that I'm certainly looking forward to learning more about, and I'm sure you are too. But the problem is that games like Spider-Man, Death Stranding and The Last of Us Part 2, they're all known quantities at this stage, and while, like I say, I want to learn more about them, E3 2018 threatens to be something of a Groundhog Day where we see all the same games that we've been seeing for a couple of years all over again. So in this video I wanted to look at some Sony published titles that haven't been announced, but there's some logic and reason to believe that they could be announced at E3 2018 next month. Now, this is all based on rumours and speculation, and there's some educated guesswork as well from me in there, but I've tried to keep it very grounded. I've tried to focus on games that I think have a realistic chance of both being in development and also a realistic chance of actually being announced at E3 2018. So while I'm sure developers like Guerrilla Games have started work on a sequel to, say, Horizon Zero Dawn, I think it's far too early for that to be revealed yet. Like, it could be, but realistically it's not going to happen. So in this video I'm going to talk about several games that I think could be in development, that I think could be announced as Sony first party exclusives at E3 2018 that we know nothing about. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the first game that I think could be announced at E3 2018 that would be a first party exclusive is a game from Sony's newest team, and they're called Manchester Studio. Now, they're originally named Northwest Studio, and they're obviously based in England, and the original job listings suggested that they were creating a new original game for PlayStation VR. Now, I think at E3 2018 we're going to see a lot of new PlayStation VR games. Sony obviously doesn't have many exclusive first party PSVR games announced, so I think Manchester Studio is a solid fit. The team was first sort of announced through job listings and stuff all the way back in 2015, so it seems likely that they'd have something to show by E3 2018. I think we're going to see that. I think that my first guess is that we're going to see a new PSVR game from Manchester Studio. Okay, so my second guess is kind of a wild card, but I think there's a possibility it could happen. So if you've been following the rumours, you'll know that Sony has recently been recruiting for a new developer in San Diego that's going to be part of the company's Visual Arts Services Group. Now, if you don't know what the Visual Arts Services Group is, it's a division that focuses on motion capture, and according to the job listing, this new team that Sony's establishing will be working with a major Sony development studio. Now, some LinkedIn digging revealed that that team is going to be Naughty Dog, and it suggests to anyone with common sense really that this new San Diego team is going to be tasked with continuing the Uncharted franchise. Naughty Dog's obviously said it doesn't want to make any more Uncharted games, but the series is a massive seller all around the world. Sony can't really let it die. So it's probably too early to hear anything just yet about this project, but apparently it has a clear vision and a plan to release. So they're obviously recruiting this team to set to work on a game that's already got some sort of roadmap for it. So I think if Sony wants to announce that it's going to continue the Uncharted series, it could do so at E3 2018. I don't think we'd see much. I think the game would still be quite a way off, but it could show a trailer or something. So that's my second guess. My second guess is that we're going to see this new San Diego studio announce what it's going to do with Uncharted. So the third game that I think Sony could announce as a PS4 exclusive at E3 2018 that we haven't heard anything about but is definitely a possibility is Farpoint 2. I mean, Impulse Gear did a really great job with the first Farpoint for PSVR. It collaborated on the PSVR aim controller. It's got all the building blocks in place to create a killer sequel. Again, like I said with Manchester Studio, Sony needs exclusives for PlayStation VR. It needs to refresh the lineup and show its commitment to the platform, and this is just a no-brainer to me. Impulse Gear has been hiring, and you know, everybody liked Farpoint. I certainly liked it. I think I really liked the way they used the PSVR aim controller. A sequel just makes so much sense to me, and it seems like it's something that they could have ready to announce at E3 2018, and I think it would be well received. Okay, so my fourth guess is a game that's probably in development at a Japan studio, but we don't actually know anything about it, and it's called Ray Space. Now, Sony filed a trademark for this game earlier in the year, and it's prompted all kinds of theories, like it could be connected to an old Taito franchise with a similar name, it could be a PlayStation VR game, it might even be some big budget, massive JRPG from Japan studio, but honestly that last one sounds like wishful thinking. Whatever the case, Ray Space obviously exists because Sony registered the trademark for it. I think we'll see something regarding that announced at E3 2018. So yeah, Ray Space is my next guess. So we know that From Software is making a new game. The problem is that while the developers teased it, we don't know whether it's Bloodborne 2 or something else. Now, the teaser trailer at the Game Awards looked a hell of a lot like Bloodborne to me, but there are other suggestions that it could be Tenchu, it could be any number of other series, or it could be something brand new entirely. Now, if it is Bloodborne 2, then we're almost definitely going to see it at E3 2018, we're almost definitely going to see it during Sony's press conference, and it's definitely going to be an exclusive because Sony owns the IP. I'm not sure about this one. Everything I'm hearing is, and again, I don't have any inside information, but what I've heard is that From Software isn't working on Bloodborne 2, but that teaser trailer looked so much like Bloodborne 2 that it's hard not to have a little bit of hype, a little bit of anticipation that there could be a sequel to what I think is still the best game on the PS4 to date. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see From Software's new game at E3 at some point, and it makes sense, even if it's not exclusive, that it would be at Sony's press conference because of, you know, the audience and prior established relationships and stuff like that. But I kind of want it to be Bloodborne. I mean, I really want it to be Bloodborne 2. I just don't want to get too hyped for it, but I think this is a reasonable shout. I think this could happen. And yeah, I would imagine Japan Studio would be collaborating on it if it is Bloodborne 2. And it's going to be a big deal if it is Bloodborne 2, but we're going to have to wait and see on that front. But yeah, I thought I'd include that because of the teaser trailer that From Software put out at the Game Awards. And you know what, I'm going to stick with the Soulsborne theme because it's always a crowd pleaser. So Bluepoint, who made the recent Shadow of the Colossus remake, has already confirmed that it's started work on another major remake project. It said it's a bigger project than Shadow of the Colossus was, and a lot of people are hoping that it's Demon's Souls. Now again, like Bloodborne, Sony actually owns the IP to the Demon's Souls franchise, so it's free to do what it wants with Demon's Souls, and if it wants Bluepoint to remake Demon's Souls, it can totally do that. Now I think this makes sense for a number of reasons. The first is that Bluepoint has a really good relationship with Sony, so while it could be making something multi-format with its next project, there's a good chance that it's decided to work with Sony again. Both parties seem to enjoy that relationship and have been working together for a while, so that makes sense. Like I said before, Demon's Souls is owned and maintained by Sony. They own the license, they own the brand, they can do with it what they like. Also, the servers for the PlayStation 3 version of Demon's Souls were shut down in Europe and North America recently, which you know, suggests to me that there may be some movement with the franchise. If they're shutting down the older servers, maybe that's in preparation for moving people to the PS4 version, the hypothetical PS4 version. But finally, I think Sony famously decided not to publish Demon's Souls in the West. They decided they weren't going to release it in Western territories. Obviously Atlus ended up publishing it in America and Bandai Namco published it in Europe, and they've gone on record many times, particularly Shuhei Yoshida, saying that it was a mistake, they regret it. What better way to put that mistake to bed and to move on from it than remaking it in the same style as Shadow of the Colossus was for the PlayStation 4. I mean, this is another really big crowd pleaser, and I think it's very realistic as well. So the last game that I could see announced as a first party exclusive for the PS4 at E3 2018 is a new Gen Design game, and if you don't know who Gen Design are, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not sure whether it's Gen Design or Gen Design. I think it's Gen Design. So if you don't know who Gen Design are, they're basically Team Eco. It's Fumito Ueda's team. They worked on The Last Guardian in collaboration with Japan Studio, and they're making a new game. Now, we've seen some artwork from this game. It looks very Eco-esque again. It kind of shows like a young Yoda type girl and a kind of beast. So it seems like it's going for a kind of Beauty and the Beast type thing, which is very Team Eco to begin with. Sony said that it's happy to work with Ueda again, and it's hard to imagine many other publishers giving him both the creative freedom that he needs and the technical support that he needs as well to succeed. So Ueda's games don't really set the sales charts alight, do they? But The Last Guardian, I think, was a superb game. I loved it. I'd love to see Sony continue to work with Ueda and fund his visions, because he makes original, interesting, creative games, and I could certainly see this being another announcement at E3 2018. The only thing that I would say is I don't think Sony or Gen Design would make the same mistakes that they made with The Last Guardian in announcing it too early, so they're going to want to be sure that this project has a roadmap right the way through to release, and maybe that's not set in stone just yet, but if it is, then, and they're working together again, then I could definitely see Ueda's new game being announced as a first party exclusive at E3 2018. So, like I said at the start of the video, my intention here was to create a list of games that I think are realistic first party PS4 announcements. Now obviously at E3 2018 we're going to hear about other games as well. There'll be third party announcements, we're going to see new footage of The Last of Us Part 2, we're probably going to see Ghost of Tsushima, so there's going to be more to the press conference than just these games I listed here. But my point with this video was to think of games, new first party exclusives that haven't been announced yet that could be announced. I'd love to hear if you have any other suggestions for first party PS4 exclusives that could be announced at E3 2018. Drop those in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do more E3 build up stuff, so hopefully you find this interesting, and yeah, I'll catch you next time. Cheers for watching.